All right, guys, I'm super excited to drop this video. I've been going through my mind on how to do it for 6+ months. It's the Bicep Slicer Mastery. I love the Bicep Slicer. Today we're gonna go over 5 different bicep slicers, how to get to them, how to stop the defenses, all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be a blast. First one we're gonna do is just the first one I learned, and the first one I assume most people learn is my person's gonna lay down, and you do it off of a failed armbar. Okay, you get the armbar position, and you just can't break their grip. And you're pulling, you're sucking your belly button in, you're even trying to pull with your legs, right? With all the stuff, and it's just not working. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a bicep slicer. So instead of being elbows in, we're gonna slide and go shallow with the skinny part of our wrist, okay? What we're attacking is this elbow joint and the forearm, okay? So what we do is the first step is we get here, and then we're gonna clamp down with our legs as we do a Heimlich maneuver and create a lot of separation in the elbow. That's why it's banned in a lot of white belt tournaments. It's not very common that this injury occurs because there's a heck of a lot of pain first, but if it does happen, separated elbow is a very bad injury. Also, the forearms can bend, and you can get fractures in the forearm as well if there's enough pressure. So that's kind of what our goal is. So we're gonna be here, and we just go to the skinny part of our wrist. We're gonna bring our leg over the top, and then we're gonna clamp down, and then do a Heimlich maneuver. Okay, now, it's slightly better if you can turn the angle and get here. He's just got such long, big upper arms that it's difficult for me to actually get this leg here, okay? You wanna get it like here, because now he can't frame up and defend it, okay? So the way he would defend it is he would very quickly, he's trying to extend this hand up and pushing up to release pressure, right? He's trying to frame up like that, okay? And as he straightens his arm, now we don't have the pressure on the crook of the elbow anymore. If he's unable to do that, he might take a risk and let go real quick, and then he takes this hand and shoves my bottom heel up, and now he works on pulling his shoulder out. That's why it's better. You can still get it here, obviously, but it's better if you can get it here just with body types and body sizes. Look at every submission. There's going to be adjustments made. Very important. Don't do this arm. While you can hit it, this heel loses a lot of its clamping range of motion because your heel runs into their body. And in my experience, what they're going to do is he's going to take his hand and shove my foot down to his legs, and now he pinches his knees, and now he's not only out of the bicep slicer, he's also out of the armbar position. So that's no good. Anyways, this is the bicep slicer from the Spiderweb armbar position, or mounted armbar position. So it looks like this. I'm pulling, fine. It's that fast. He's so worried about not letting go of his grip, he's not even thinking about this. So that's the first one. Next, just turn a little bit. This one's gonna be from crossbody top. Okay, so for crossbody, we want our hands in this position. This hand, back of my hand checking his hip. I can't really attack though if my hand's defending him from shrimping and getting his knees in and re-guarding. So what I do is I replace my hand with my knee, and I keep this knee bent and always flush up against his hip. So as I pull this out, if he shrimps and he tries to get the knee in, I keep my knee connected so he can't actually get his thighs and knees inside my legs, okay? So very important, check the hip with the knee. If you want extra pressure, this leg can extend. Okay, so you can sprawl with the top side leg if you want the extra weight, especially if you're smaller than they are. Okay, so now for the arms, I'm going to take this hand, I'm gonna shove it down, we're gonna go to a Kimura grip. Okay, now this is pretty important. I'm gonna go deep. I want my bone right here. Okay, so see how that's a regular, just crossbody Kimura grip? To turn it into a bicep slicer, we're gonna take this hand and slide it from my forearm. We're gonna take this hand, we're just gonna take the thumb off, slide it through, and then this hand grabs my arm, and this hand grabs my elbow. And now we're just gonna squeeze. Okay, so same principle. I get the skinny part of my bone, of my wrist right there, and we're creating that clamping pressure. I like this one because if you get it, what's his defense? The only defense he really has is trying to brute force it, and he's using this hand and shoving my hips that way, trying to clear me off of him. Okay, once I got the lock, I'm probably gonna win that battle. But if he tries it, I'm just gonna, I can post with my head, bring my knee over, and finish anyways. So the trick is push his wrist down, go for your Kimura grip, make sure it's deep. This hand, the hand on the wrist, slides through. Grab your opposite elbow. This hand grabs your bicep, and you're using your chest and squeezing it all together, but I'm also using my wrist and rolling to get some additional pressure. And as long as you can maintain your hip weight to where this hand doesn't just shove my hips up and off, or I can post with the head, you'll get the tap. If it misses, let's say they don't feel pain. We all know a few of those guys who, they just don't feel pain and they don't want to tap, and you don't really want to bust your buddy's elbow. You can always switch to an actual Kimura. So I'm just going to walk my hips past his head, and now I have the same hold, but instead of just focusing on squeezing, I'm going to rock my elbows. My elbow right here rocks up. So without his body, it looks like this. So I clear his head with my hips, drop my hips so he can't get his head back, and I just rock. And then you get a Kimura off of it. If for whatever reason you're having difficulty finishing it, don't ever let go of that hold. It's an awesome hold. All right, so that's the cross-body bicep slicer. Next, let's move on to the next one. The next one is my absolute favorite. It is fun. Which arm do you want? You want this one? Okay, so we're gonna rotate like this then. So, actually, let's go right here.
You almost had a double.
Yeah, you can actually get a double with the move I'm about to show you, and the one I just showed you. You can get a double bicep slicer, which is just a power play, right? It's fun. It keeps things interesting. So I'm here. The trick for this one is we're gonna get a shin right. So I need to get my shin over his bicep. The way you do that is I'm just going to bring this foot in to his side and then swing it over the top, okay? Now, you're here, bring it in, over the top, and you just staple his bicep down. Now, you can do it the other way too. I can walk this way to north-south, and then get here as well. Both ways work. Now, the trick is, I'm going to step my hips over. I'm going to collect his wrist with my hip. And then I triangle my legs. You can fully lock them or not. But his wrist is right in my hip pocket. My skinny part of here, let's rotate just a little bit here. Skinny part of the ankle is in his elbow. And then I'm just going to sprawl. I'm going to push my shin backwards as I drop my hips into it. Super fun. You right?
Yep.
Okay, so that one was from going this way, from north-south, getting the shin ride with this leg. You can do it this way too. Just always make sure you're checking the hip with your hand or your knee so he doesn't regard on you. But let's say he's got proper hand position. Just bring it in, up and over. And then I'm just gonna do it on the other side. Scoop it up and sprawl and finish. Now, you can catch upper belts with this. That's when I decided I started loving it, is when I start hitting it on guys more experienced than me. But an experienced guy, you catch it once on them and then they're savvy to it, and they sure as crap ain't gonna put their hand in here again. That's cool. I don't need them to put their hand there. And they can be trying to keep it out. As long as I have a staple, I'm just gonna reach back, scoop it with my hand, and put it there. Finish. Okay, you can use your hand. You can post with your forehead too if you need to, if they're trying to, shove you that way. What's very important though, guys, is there's two ways to really stop this. One is if he can swim his hand out. So sorry guys, if you got really, really skinny long legs, this is gonna be a little bit trickier for you. You can still hit it, but they're gonna have a little bit more space to swim this out. So you just need to be cognizant of that, and then keep your hips lower. If you miss it, no worries. You still have a wrist lock right here, okay? You get this shin staple, scoop it up, but let's say he's pushing me up. He's just bench pressing me off of it. You don't want to get bench pressed and thrown. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure he can't ever get his hand on my face or my chest. That's why I'm getting an underhook. Okay, so I underhook, grab, wrist lock if he's not cooperating, fine. Just finish. Oh, and I like grabbing here and making sure he never gets his hand to frame and shove me off. That's the biggest trick, is making sure this hand can't fight back. He will try to extend this one, but if you got the shin right, he's gonna have difficulty doing that. So you can do it from north-south coming this way. You can do it from side control or crossbody coming in this way. Either leg's fine. Just switch your hips, collect the arm, and have fun with it.
So can I add something, Instructor Taro?
Yeah.
So the other night I was grappling against my daughter. She's 14 at the time, almost 15. And she caught me with this because I wasn't paying attention. Now, Taro's done this to me so many times that I'm very savvy. I watch my hand. But how she set it up is she went to bicep slicer this hand. So what she did is she was bicep slicing this. And being my daughter, I'm like, I'll use a little strength. And I started to muscle this. And when I did that, I brought this hand, while I was focusing on this hand, she was sneakily doing all of this. And I didn't notice she was doing it. So out of habit, when she applied pressure here, I went to bench her off with this hand and I went like this. And then she caught it right here. And then I was like, oh no, and I had tap. And I had to tap. She was so fast with what she did with her legs, I wasn't paying attention because she put my attention here. So I felt the pressure on my bicep. I was about to tap and I was like, oh, I know. She's my daughter. I'll just bring this up on her hip and push her off. And as soon as I brought this up, I didn't realize she already stapled my hand and she caught it. And I was like, and I had to tap.
Dude, double bicep slicer from that like crossbody, almost crucifix style position it's fun. It's very fun. Let's do a couple more. We're gonna do guard positions next. We're gonna do crossbody bottom, so side control bottom. We turn it into guard. So traditionally, I've always done this position for like a reverse triangle. Okay, so he gets down here. He's got his crossbody. I'm gonna shrimp, but he's checking my hip. That's fine. I'm gonna take my hip side hand, sneak it under, grab the wrist, and as I shrimp, I move his hand so it's not checking me anymore, and then just get here. Okay, now you can kick through and get a reverse triangle. Well, why not get a bicep slicer there? So I get here. Now, what I'm gonna do is I sneak this hand underneath, pass it off to my other hand, and then I pull, triangle. Now my hand's already in position to do the clamp. So I clamp down, I'm gonna gable grip on his shoulder, and I'm gonna pull down as I do the same sprawling motion. I'm just taking my shin, I'm shoving it that way. Okay, I've seen people do this. This can work, and I've actually finished people like this, just overlapping. Don't do this, this is weak and takes time. This can work. I prefer gable grip if you can reach. If you can't reach, you just grab what you can, right? But if you can't reach and get deep enough, here. Because his defense is gonna be posturing up and straightening his arm, right? Because he wants to straighten his arm and then clear it. So I need to be savvy to that. I'm always holding his wrist from here. I'm shoving, so I have some space, pass it off. I'm not giving him a chance to escape. Now he could posture up at this point and try to get out. In which case, I've regarded. I'm no longer underneath. If he catches it in time. If he doesn't catch it in time, perfect, finish it, okay? Also, I'm flaring my knee out. So I'm not just shoving with this side, with the lock triangle, I'm shoving with this side too, okay? I've seen some people try to teach it like this with just one leg in. That's weaker, don't do it. Lock the triangle. Make sure you're in a mechanically strong position. Also, it's not a bridge up. I've seen some videos show it bridging up. That's weak. You don't need to bridge up. You're just extension. You're pulling down with your gable grip and extending your shin that way. So that's from the near side knee you get in. Now, if for whatever reason, instead of checking the hip
with the hand, they're attacking your arm or whatever. Let's say he's going for a Kimura, Americana, whatever. I'm gonna grab here. You can do it on this side too. So I get this side, same thing. Switch, here, here, finish. Now, you can force it too. So, one way you can force it is from regular hand position. Let's say he doesn't let me get my hand under. That's fine. I can shoulder crunch, and I'm just gonna start to barrel roll. All I'm trying to do is get his checking hand in front of me on the right, on the side I want. So I go here, he goes there, switch. Now I've set it up. I didn't have to wait for him to put his hands there. I could set it up. Now, from here, it's really safe. I'm pulling in and pushing out. And now it's safe to come underneath, pass it off, now finish. If he postures up too hard, too fast, and you miss it, that's okay. I'm going to take this hand, and I'm gonna, back of my hand goes on his far leg, right here. I'm gonna spin underneath. Now I've gone to an omoplata or wrist lock.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm that guy. But it's there, so might as well take it. One more time. He has cross body. I'm going to roll. Actually, if he has here, he can also shove C-grip his armpit. You just need there to be weight there and some space to catch this. I get here. Now, if he postures up, that's fine. Break him down that way. All right. Now, there is one other option when I go for this. And this actually happened to me in a IBJJF brown belt tournament where the guy actually drops his lat on me as I'm attacking his arm, and I was unable to finish it. So I got this, and instead of letting me get my hand through so I could get my clamp, I was here, and he just drops his elbow over here and drops his lat down and looks at my feet. Now, I can't get it. Actually, I was holding with this hand. Hold on. Go up. This hand was out. I had this hand. But one hand isn't enough to actually finish it. So here's your option. You keep pressure there, keep all clamped up there. You're gonna go here. And reverse it. Wish I knew that beforehand. You could try to finish the choke there. Just can work, but it's a little bit of an awkward position. I would suggest reaching up and just reversing him. If he's put so much weight on his lat to release pressure off the bicep slicer, well, fine, just let his weight keep going. All right, so let's do that one more time, because that is a very good defense. I mean, shoot, it stops me in a tournament match at a high level. So we're here. He drops. Oh yeah, I missed that part. He drops. Okay, fine. Go under the neck. Grab whatever you can. And you're gonna back roll. So you jump off with your other leg, back roll. Now you're into some good attacking positions. Also, I have the shins stapled. You just do it from here anyways. So, those are some of the variations. If they posture up and get out, that's fine. Just move to the next thing. But your attack has made them move in a way that they didn't want to move. And you're just playing chess and you end up beating them. Now, there is one more bicep slicer that I love, but it is in a gi. It's from Lasso position. So we're gonna come back in just a second with our gis, and then we're gonna do that last bicep slicer. All right, guys, we're back. Now we're going to do from the lasso position, which you obviously need a gi for the lasso. So I'm gonna control double sleeves. Guys, I know a lot of judo guys grab here, and this is an okay grip, but if you're doing this kind of guard work, this is so much easier just here. Okay, now you can play spider guard, go into a lasso grip. It's just the same guard bicep slicer. We just set it up. Instead of being underneath in side control, bottom side control, we start from lasso. And he can be on knees or standing, whatever. But you get your lasso. Okay, so that means you bring your leg outside in and tuck it under the armpit. And guys, lock this. Lock the elbow and curl, right? Otherwise, he's just gonna get out. Don't let that happen. So we're here, okay? Next, I'm going to let him think he's passing. Dude, I hit this on so many new guys, it's hilarious. Because I get my lasso guard, I'm just playing, I'm loose, right? I make sure this is tight, but I'm not yanking, so they don't have red flags on. If you're yanking, even the newest guy is going to be like, wait a second, this is bad, right? You just lock it in, but you're messing with this stuff. The trick, I take my foot and I just pass it across here. Anyone who's been in one class or even 0 class is going to know, if they know get around the legs and I do this, they're going to shove and think they're passing. They think they're passing. I lock my ankles for the triangle, shoot through, finish the same way. I clamp down with my gable grip and I shove my shin out. Okay. One more time. We're here. You don't want them to have good posture. So I put my feet on the hips. I pull and I push. Come in here. Okay. And then I just kind of leave it there. Now I'm messing with other stuff. Oh, he thinks he's passed. Okay, great. Don't let go of this grip until you have this here. If you go do this and then try to shoot both in, he'll get out. And he doesn't even have to do it technically sound with the swim. You just like yank it out. Okay, so to avoid that, we have this locked. This hand goes through in cups. Now it's safe to let go of this one and reinforce the cup. Switch to a gable, finish. I love it. It's so much fun. And maybe I'm a bad person and I just love those grimaces. Makes me have joy inside. May you all find joy too.